हेलो एंड वेलकम टू एवरीबॉडी। आज से मैं यूपीएससी सिविल सर्विसेज प्रिलिमिनरी एग्जामिनेशन जनरल स्टडीज पेपर 2022 का डिस्कशन स्टार्ट करने जा रहा हूं। आने वाले कुछ लेक्चर्स में मैं इस पेपर की डिस्कशन को कंप्लीट करूंगा। आज हम इसमें से 5 क्वेश्चंस जो पॉलिटी से रिलेटेड हैं वो डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं। सो आइए हम पहला क्वेश्चन देखते हैं। Consider the following statements. A bill amending the Constitution requires a prior recommendation of the President of India. First statement. When Constitution Amendment Bill is presented to the President of India, it is obligatory for the President to give his or her assent. A Constitution Amendment Bill must be passed by the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha by a special majority and there is no provision for joint sitting. So ये जो क्वेश्चन है मेनली ये क्वेश्चन आर्टिकल 368 है हमारा जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अमेंडमेंट बिल से रिलेटेड, ये उस प्रोविजन से रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन है। सो आर्टिकल 368 के अकॉर्डिंग a constitution amendment bill may be either a public bill or a private bill. Such a bill can be introduced either in Rajya Sabha or in Lok Sabha. No prior recommendation of the President is required for introducing such a bill. The majority required for passing such a bill is special 2/3 majority of the members present and voting and majority of the total membership of the house. So both these conditions are required to be met. This is what we mean by the majority required for passing a constitution amendment bill under article 368, and this majority is known as the special majority. And when a bill passed by both the houses is sent to the president for his assent, then the president may not exercise any of his veto powers. It is obligatory for the president to give his assent to the bill, and this bill means constitution amendment bill is required to be passed by both the houses of parliament separately. Separately means a joint sitting for passing such a bill cannot be held. Okay? So joint sitting of the two houses of the parliament is provided for in article 108 of our constitution, and joint sitting is held only and only in case of ordinary bills and financial bills under article 117. Okay, so these are only the two cases where the joint sitting can be held. Okay, joint sitting is not held in case of money bill. There is no provision for the joint sitting. Similarly, in case of the constitution amendment bill, there is no provision for joint sitting. Okay, so now let us see the statements. Okay, a bill amending the constitution requires a prior recommendation of the president of India. So this is wrong, as I have just told you, no such recommendation is required. When constitution amendment bill is presented to the president, it is obligatory for the president to give his or assent. This is true, as I have told you that once a constitution amendment bill duly passed by both the houses of the parliament is sent to the president for his assent, then president cannot exercise any veto power. It is obligatory for the president to give his assent to the bill. So this is correct. A constitution amendment bill must be passed by both the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha by a special majority, and there is no provision for joint sitting. This is also correct, as I have just told you that a special majority is required. majority of the total membership of the house and majority of 2/3 members present and voting, which is known as a special majority, and there is no provision for joint sitting, okay, in case of the constitution amendment bill and money bill, as I have already told you. So it means the answer here is a B. 2 and 3 are correct. Next question. This question is related with the Council of Ministers, composition of the Council of Ministers and the size of Council of Ministers. This question is related with that. Consider the following statements. The Constitution of India classifies the ministers into 4 ranks: Cabinet Minister, Minister of State with independent charge, Minister of State and Deputy Minister. So it is important to note that there is no such classification of ministers in our constitution. Our constitution has mentioned only a term, that is Council of Ministers. Regarding the composition of Council of Ministers, nowhere in the constitution it has been mentioned that there may be 4 types of ministers in the Council of Ministers. So this statement is wrong. The total number of ministers in the union government, including the prime minister, shall not exceed 15% of the total number of members in the Lok Sabha. This statement is correct. Okay. So here it is important to study or read the 91st Amendment of 2003, which speaks about the size of Council of Ministers in case of the union government and size of Council of Ministers in case of the state government. Okay, so in case of the union government, the size of Council of Ministers, including the Prime Minister, shall not exceed 15% of the total strength of the Lok Sabha, total number of members of the Lok Sabha. And in case of the state government, the size of the Council of Ministers, including the Chief Minister, shall not exceed 15% of the total number of members of the Legislative Assembly of the state, but subject to minimum 12. Okay, subject to minimum 12. So this subject to minimum 12, this is applicable only in case of state, okay, not in case of the center. Okay, so this point is important. So that means only second statement is correct. So our answer will be B. Which of the following is our exclusive powers of Lok Sabha? Lok Sabha की exclusive powers के बारे में है. To ratify the declaration of emergency. Okay, so whenever an emergency is imposed in India under Article 352, which is the national emergency, under Article 356, which is the state emergency, under Article 360, which is the financial emergency. Okay, so such an emergency is required to be ratified by both the houses of Parliament. So declaration of emergency is required to be ratified by both the houses of Parliament. It is mentioned there in our constitution. So this statement is wrong. To pass a motion of no confidence against the Council of Ministers, Rajya Sabha has no power, has no right to pass the motion of no confidence against the Council of Ministers, because in Article 75, it has been clearly mentioned that the Council of Ministers is accountable to the lower house, that is the House of People, that is the Lok Sabha, is responsible to the Lok Sabha. Okay, so that is why it is the Lok Sabha only that can pass the no confidence motion against the Council of Ministers to impeach the President of India. Okay, so first thing, it is important to note here that the motion for the impeachment of the President of India can start either in Lok Sabha or in Rajya Sabha. Okay, it is required to be passed by both the houses separately. There is no provision for the joint sitting of the two houses. And if both the houses pass the impeachment motion against the President of India by the requisite majority, then the President stands impeached. So it is not the exclusive power of the Lok Sabha. So third is also wrong. Okay. So it means only 2 is correct. So answer is a B. So next question. So this question is related with the anti-defection law. With reference to anti-defection law in India, consider the following statements. The law specifies that a nominated legislator cannot join any political party within 6 months of being appointed to the House. This statement is wrong. अगर आपको याद हो तो वहां क्या लिखा हुआ है कि एक नॉमिनेटेड मेंबर है जो, तो वो विद इन फर्स्ट 6 months ही में ज्वाइन एनी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी, उसके ऊपर कोई एंटी डिफेक्शन नहीं लगेगा. बट अगर वो आफ्टर 6 months किसी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी को ज्वाइन करता है तो फिर उसके ऊपर एंटी डिफेक्शन लगेगा. लेकिन यहाँ क्या लिखा है कि वो पहले 6 months के अंदर किसी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी को ज्वाइन नहीं कर सकता. ओके, सो दिस इज रॉन्ग. The law doesn't provide any time frame within which the presiding officer has to decide a defection case. Okay, so anti-defection law से related अगर कोई भी complaint है that is decided by the presiding officer of the house, but as far as the time frame is concerned, there is no time frame related with this. So this statement is correct. So our answer will be B. Okay, 2 only. So next question. Consider the following statements. ये अटॉर्नी जनरल से रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन है. अटॉर्नी जनरल ऑफ इंडिया एंड सोलिसिटर जनरल ऑफ इंडिया are the only officers of the government who are allowed to participate in the meetings of the Parliament of India. See, Solicitor General of India cannot participate in the meetings of the Parliament. Attorney General can participate. So this statement is wrong in this respect. According to the Constitution of India, the Attorney General of India submits his resignation when the government which appoints him resigns. Okay. So see, as far as the term of the Attorney General of India is concerned, it is mentioned that he enjoys his office during the pleasure of the President. Okay. So it means on the recommendation of the Council of Ministers, the President may remove the Attorney General of India anytime. Okay. But nowhere in the Constitution it has been mentioned that Attorney General of India must have to submit his resignation with the change of the government in the center. So it is nowhere mentioned. One point is that. Okay. So yes, usually the Attorney General of India submits his resignation when the government at the center changes. Okay. But that is a custom, that is a practice. Okay, so there is no such constitutional requirement, so that is why this is also wrong, because यहाँ क्या लिखा कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया के अकॉर्डिंग ये होता है. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में ऐसा कुछ नहीं मेंशन किया, सो दैट इज व्हाई दिस स्टेटमेंट इज अगेन रॉन्ग. सो आंसर विल बी डी, नेदर 1 नॉट 2. ओके, सो स्टूडेंट्स जनरली क्या मिस्टेक कमिट करेंगे कि अगर उन्होंने इस चीज के ऊपर फोकस नहीं किया, तो जनरल प्रैक्टिस ये है कि जब सेंटर में गवर्नमेंट चेंज होती है तो अटॉर्नी जनरल अपना रेजिग्नेशन पुट अप कर देते हैं. सो जनरल प्रैक्टिस को देख के वो इसको सही मान सकते हैं, बट इट इज रॉन्ग, बिकॉज यहाँ क्या पूछा है कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के ऑफ इंडिया के अकॉर्डिंग क्या करेक्ट है. सो दिस इज रॉन्ग. सो ये आज के 5 क्वेश्चंस थे जो हमने डिस्कस किए. अगर फिर भी किसी को कोई डाउट हो या कोई एग्री ना करता हो तो आप कमेंट में लिख सकते हो. सो आई विल डेफिनेटली आंसर योर क्वेरी. सो कल हम और 5 क्वेश्चंस के साथ मिलेंगे. सो बाय टिल देन, स्टे हेल्दी, स्टे हैप्पी, ऑल द बेस्ट.